now I request another nation representative of the Sindhi people, because they are also facing the same sort of atrocities from the same state. So we are lucky to have with us Sajjad SHAR. He is the Vice President of Jeay Sindh Mutahidah movement. He has presented Sindhi people at different international forums. He has been vocal on the Sindhi people's rights. He will brief us what is the situation of enforced disappearances in Sindh. Sir, the floor is yours.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Munir Mangal. Honorable guests, good morning in JSMM. Today, as a Vice Chairman of JSMM Mutahidah Mahaz, representing the Sindhi nation at the side event and 54th session of United Nations Human Rights Council, today we are here to discuss the enforced disappearances in Balochistan, where the thousands of political activists have been missing after forced extrajudicial arrest by Pakistan's notorious spy agency ISI, army and other agencies. The missing Baloch political activists are subject to inhuman torture in the torture cells of Pakistani state agencies, including the mutilated bodies of hundreds of political activists are continuously dumped by Pakistan army and ISI in different areas of Balochistan, and many are buried by state in mass graves. So it becomes our political and moral responsibility to mention these states of oppression, fascism and brutality in Balochistan. The cruelty and brutality in Pakistan over the Baloch nation have been continued since 75 years, and Baloch along the Sindhi nation are victims of this unnatural state of Pakistan. Also, the fact is that we people are victims of Pakistani fascist state, and we were imprisoned and enslaved under the deception of religion in Pakistan. The other nations, including Sindhi, Baloch, Pashtun, POK, Gilgit-Baltistan, and Saraiki, all of us, whatever our historical background, are prisoners and slaves in the theocratic state of Pakistan. I would like to add here to my host friend who have written in their agenda life lost, unheard cries, forgotten faces in distant skies, and demanding justice for Balochistan. But I want to tell you all, whether it's Balochistan or Sindh, the political workers of all historical nations, Baloch, Sindhi, Pashtuns, Kashmiri of POK, who have suffered state oppression, torture, imprisonment, and worse slavery, their lives have not been wasted. But in fact, it's a great sacrifice which has been offered in the path of struggle for free Balochistan and Sindhudesh. The main motive of this Pakistani fascism is that they want to keep us away from the struggle for the basic right of national survival, national independence, but we believe that the political question of national independence of historical nations is more important than the question of human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to inform all of you about the most important political problems and economic crisis of South Asian region, including the religious extremism and terrorism in our region. The Pakistani state has been sponsoring Islamic terrorism, and these Islamic extremists have been used continuously by Pakistan in Indian Kashmir for decades. Apart from this, Sikh extremism and terrorism are also being promoted by Pakistan. The aggression and mischief in Pakistan has caused in the entire region, including the occupation of land of Afghanistan in the name of Durand Line, lack of political and economic stability in the region. But we believe that the denial of freedom of historical nations is more important than all these abuses, because keeping any historical nation as forced slaves on the basis of religion and guns is greater injustice and abuse than all abuses. Today, I would like to draw your attention to the freedom of historical nations, including the national independence of Sindhudesh and Balochistan, which were enslaved by Punjabi colonialists based on the religion, deception, and guns in the unnatural state like Pakistan. I want to draw your attention to Tibet and East Turkestan, enslaved by China's expansionist aggression. I want to draw your attention to the land of Kurdistan and the Kurdish people enslaved in the region. I want to draw your attention to the side of POK and Gilgit-Baltistan, which have been enslaved at gunpoint by fascist state of Pakistan. Even today, The way of political question of independence of historical nations is being ignored by United Nations and the international community. This approach is not only a severe problem for human rights in our region, but in coming days, the tragedies that can lead to, just like 1971, when 3 million innocent Bengalis were brutally murdered and killed by Pakistan in Bangladesh. My party's political position has been that, like the national liberation of Sindh and Balochistan, all the historical nations of region such as Tibet, Kurdistan, East Turkestan, Gilgit-Baltistan, and POK are not liberated from the occupation of China, Pakistan, and Turkey. Until then, peace will not be restored in our region, and the basic problems of human rights will never be solved, because we believe that the restoration of human rights in our region, for the eradication of religious extremism and terrorism, the restoration of human rights, peace, security, development, and improvement is must and necessary to support the freedom struggle of the historical nations. At the end of my speech, I will put a proposal for the Alliance of Oppressed Nations before the leadership of these enslaved nations on behalf of my party's chairman, Shafi Burfat, on the political front, that we all should unite to make a joint political and diplomatic struggle and effort on the global front for the liberation of historical nations, so that we can speed up diplomatic efforts for the freedom of historical nations on the global front. Long live Sindhudesh, long live Saint G.M. Sayyid. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So please put your mic off. Thank you for your detailed presentation. And the purpose of us to be here is that there is a state, her army is disappearing the people on daily basis and routinely basis. Systematically, this is being done over there. Not only the men, women, including infants, they are under the Pakistani army custody. And I myself was a victim of enforced disappearances. I was disappeared by the Pakistani army in 2006. For 2 years, I was a missing person, only because I tried to launch a TV channel in Balochi language. And they abused me to sexually abuse a Baloch woman teacher. She was under their custody. And this act is being done over there on daily basis. So we request UN and UN member states and UN bodies to take notice of all those atrocities. Thank you, sir, for your detailed, briefing.